welcome everybody, our guest, Mr. Jason Cheny.
Hey, wait, Ron, why'd you? What?
Shut. All right. All right, Jason. Sorry. What were you gonna say? You're gonna interrupting the crowd cheering for you.
I'm sorry. That was no. I just wanted to know why'd you do a clap reluctantly.
I wasn't because nobody was clapping in sync, so I was waiting for everybody. Nobody wanted to clap at all. So thank you for pointing that out. That nobody wanted to clap.
Well, why nobody wanted to clap? That made me sad.
That made me sad too. Why are you asking me? Ask the other guys why they didn't clap.
I know.
Yeah, I tried to play the audio.
I clapped.
What audio? They don't know.
Jason Cheny is one of my favorite comedians. He started 10 years ago. Is it 10?
Like 9.
Relax. It's 10. And and I started 26 years ago, so I'm pretty much the Rosa Parks of Asian comedians. I was not allowed in the back of the bus back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah, that's. You were telling me some stories while you took me to this Chinese restaurant in Vegas. It was super good.
I was telling Jason when I started in '95, I went up and I was called Chink. Go back to your home for my first 2 minutes, and then I would laugh and I go, I thought it was a joke, and then they kept doing it. I'm like, oh shit, they're serious. And then I got off stage and all my black comedian friends were like, you don't have your comeback jokes? I go, what's that? He goes, come on, man. Every ethnic comic needs comeback jokes. So you need to fight the audience for 5 minutes because they're going to call you chink and shit. And then they respect you if you win that. And then you can do your act. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember back then I had to do that. So my act today is so fast in the beginning because I had to stop hecklers from jumping in. It's like, playing skipping rope in school. They couldn't jump in. So I have to have a some kind of wall of attack. And when you started, you didn't have that. They didn't call you
I didn't have that. When I started, I didn't have that. But I think one thing I just want to say, maybe I'm too sensitive, but I think Ronnie still hates me for not having earphones.
Oh no.
I think he doesn't. I think you think of that too much. You care too much about Ronnie's feelings when
I
we
do,
don't
man.
even care.
Okay, fine. When I started.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Ronnie.
I was kidding.
I'm gonna apologize one last time, and that's all I'm gonna do because that's all I could do right now. I'm
That's fine.
sorry that I didn't have the earphones. I would, but yeah, when I started, I didn't have people doing that during the show. So they evolved until after the show. Then they'll say stuff to me.
After the show, they go, "You're so funny, Chink," and then that's it.
Yeah.
What, remember that time you said you were doing the NACA college circuit, and then you said some of them were so racist, like some of the kids were.
Well, was it NACA?
You said I don't know if it was NACA or you did some college, and they were just like you remember you were like feeling some racist part in like southern. I don't know if it was like Midwest.
Clubs. Yeah, I mean just clubs and cruise ships. You always feel it for sure. There's always like. At least if I'm on a cruise, there's always at the very minimum 3 racist incidents. At the very least. But not all but most of them aren't really hateful. It's just like they think they could, do like the ching chong thing to you.
They actually said that?
Yeah, of course.
Like hey, that was so funny. And then here's a joke. You ever hear this one about the Chinese? Like they give you like a Chinese joke.
Yeah.
I get that too.
Dude, this happened at an LA Comedy Club in Vegas just now. This guy after the show, he's like, "Where's the Asian guy?" Like out loud. I swear to God, like 3 times. And then when he saw me, he's like, "Oh, there he is. Here's him." And then he just started talking to me. But I knew that he wasn't like, wanted to hate me. It's just that he thought it was okay to say that.
Right.
Like nobody will be like, "Where's the black guy?" Because
they get punched.
Yeah, in the face.
Yeah. With us, it's like, "Where's the Asian guy?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just go, "I can't. This is embarrassing." And then he just made his way towards me.
But Justin, you must have had that too because you're Asian magician. That's That's harder, I find.
I mean, it's like indirect more. It's usually more indirect than like how it happens to Jason. Like, I'll be in like a white town, you know, on the road, and like one time I ordered a chicken sandwich, and then the lady ended up just giving me a teriyaki chicken sandwich. Like, no joke, dude. Like, she just gave it, like, she put teriyaki on it, like, to like make me feel welcome or something, like to make me feel comfortable.
God.
And I was like, I didn't order teriyaki. I just wanted a straight up regular chicken sandwich. It was,
you know what? A lot of
crazy,
white
man.
girlfriends I've had, their families did stuff like that.
Right.
I was watching an episode of Bobby Lee's podcast where his white girlfriend's family, they dressed up Asian-y for when he came to dinner. And my white girlfriend from like, I think 1999 or 2002, I remember when I was there, the family dressed up in Japanese outfits.
Wow.
and then they had Korean food, Japanese food, and Chinese food.
Wow.
And they had chopsticks, and they're like, "So are these noodles to par?" I go, "With what?" And it's just like, "Is it to your liking?" I go, "You know, I was born and raised right in the same town as you, like 4 doors down."
Right.
You know, like they, for some reason, they think, because what's true is our homes are Asian-y, but when we leave our house, it's back to normal. It's like, you know, but you go inside your house, you kind of keep that really Asian-y, but it's not as if we didn't eat what they ate.
Yeah.
Like,
you know,
they think we live in like another, and literally in another country when we live, you know, like you said, down the street. It's weird, man.
yeah, it is weird.
I just did this show with Paulo Gata in that white town, and we get to the gig and it's like catered and everything, and Paul starts looking at the food, right? And this white lady, she's trying to be so like accommodating and welcoming. She goes up to Paul and she's like, "Oh, are you looking for the rice?" Like, straight up, there's literally no rice there, but she assumed that he was wanting to eat rice because, you know, it's Paulo Gata. He's a Japanese man. And then I shit you not, she goes, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, we don't have any rice, but we got dragon fruit. Like,
Because that's the next.
that
best
was
thing
her
to
next.
carbs.
That was her next go-to for like Asian carbs.
She
Dragon.
joking?
No, she was dead serious, bro.
Holy shit!
She was
That's so
dead-
ignorant, man.
Yeah, it's like white ignorance, and I mean it's not malicious because
Wait,
she was
yeah.
trying to be accommodating and friendly and all that shit.
Do you
You
not?
know?
Do you hate her for that though?
I don't know, man. It's
Because
weird because
she's
she's
trying
trying to
to
be
help you.
nice. Yeah, she's trying to be nice, but like her, like
That's tough.
I don't know, man. Her,
Like, where do
her-
we draw the line? Do we say fuck those bitches, or do we go if you try to help, then it's okay?
I don't know,
I think
man.
that if it's done maliciously, for sure.
Yeah,
Right.
100%. But she
Yeah.
was trying to like offer you stuff, like food.
Right.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, but
But-
what if
but-
it was a black guy? You know what I mean?
No, of course the black guy, they won't be like, oh, you want chicken, you want watermelon, you want, bubble gum,
It's different.
Grape soda, bubble
grape
gum.
soda. Yeah, then that'll be different. But yeah, I don't know, man. That's why it's hard too. Like
it is hard because they're coming from a nice place.
Yeah.
And that's why I do believe what Trump said when he goes, "There's good people on both sides." There actually is nice racists that don't mean to be racist.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, like when I was in South Carolina and the lady goes, It's not that I don't think you're funny. I just don't like your face."
What?
I was like, "What?" I go, "Then why don't you leave?" And she goes, "Because that would be rude." I go, "So not liking my face is less rude than leaving?"
Yeah.
The hell?
You know, like they're really, I think they're kind of confused that their systemic racism, they don't understand in their own, they don't understand because it's there. By
Yeah.
asking me,
yeah.
saying I don't like your face, they're just saying, well, I was taught not to like people like you. The same way you're taught to give you rice because you naturally think we eat it. That's a very systemic racist thing to have.
Yeah.
I mean, this is how white this town was. Just to give you like a better idea of how white.
But why
and
is it it's
excluded.
okay to have to date the women, even if you know they have that?
Right? Have you ever had it switched? Because growing up in a Filipino family thing, there's always like the white boyfriend or girlfriend that comes to the family parties, and they're all like, I remember one was like, "Where's the rice-a-roni?" I was like, what the hell's
every time I
rice-a-roni?
brought friends over, if I brought friends over my house, my dad would ask them racist stuff because that's all he knew.
Yeah.
Like when I brought my Indian friend, he's like, "Do you want hot peppers?" I'm like, so he gave a bottle of hot peppers to one of my Indian friends to eat while everybody else got popcorn.
You're a liar.
No.
You're a liar, Ron.
I know you think I'm a liar because I do lie, but this is the truth. My dad gave
Because I
my
do
dad
lie.
my dad gave my Indian friend a jar of hot peppers.
Yeah, but while everybody eats popcorn,
Yes.
you're such a liar. Dude.
I know.
But no, he was eating popcorn too, but my dad thought he needed an extra of shit.
So, yeah.
Like he was eating popcorn with us, right? And all of a sudden my dad goes, "Maybe you like these hot." So the dude started eating hot peppers and he goes, "These are actually pretty good." Like he didn't even, he just ate. Because
Yeah.
this is before he's like 7, so he doesn't know my dad's racist.
Oh,
And my dad is old and doesn't know he's being racist. So it actually worked out.
okay.
When two people are stupid, it's perfect. And I'm not even joking. My dad would talk to my friends while I got ready for school, and he'd be like, my black friend Ethan, he'd be like, "Ethans, so you like basketball? I swear."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, man, I'm on the team." It's like, "Yeah, that's good because blacks are very strong." I was like, "Why did you say that?"
Blacks are very strong.
My dad would invite. He would like this. He loved Ethan because Ethan was a good guy too, but he was so. My dad loves strong men. I don't know what the fuck his problem is, and he didn't. He liked my friend Doug because Doug was Chinese and Asian. So my Doug would always bring us barbecue pork buns because his dad had a store. So my parents loved him. But whenever my dad would never invite him to dinner, he goes, "Can you bring Ethan to dinner?" I go, "Why not Doug?" Just Ethan's good. I'm like, okay. So I brought Ethan to dinner, and after dinner, he'd be like, "Ethan, can you help us move the couch downstairs?"
Oh my god.
And I'm like, "Why not? Doug could have helped us." He's like, "Doug's very weak. He's a tiny Chinese guy." My dad wasn't racist. He was body fascist. He loved big, strong men.
That's funny.
My dad was kind of like that too, man. Like I remember with my Indian friend, it was weird, man. He would come over and then my dad would just start talking to him with this fake Indian accent, and I'm like, What are you doing? Stop! Why are you doing that? It's so dumb.
That's so crazy that you guys are saying this because I've never like heard other Asian parents is doing this to their friends. My dad did the exact same thing. Like if you're from South Korea, he would like do like a Korean accent and ask him about kimchi. Like, dude, every time my dad,
You're lying.
My wife is Korean, and every time we would have a family thing, he would think of Korean dramas, like Korean. It's like, dude, why can't you just be a person? Like literally every time they're like, oh yeah, they like kimchi, right? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, dude, everybody likes kimchi. And Japanese, he would like try to like bring up Japanese references, like within the Asian culture is the same.
Because you brought in friends from Taiwan that were also non-Taiwanese. Like you have Korean, Japanese friends, different friends. But you also had non-Asian friends growing up?
Not really. What? Because
so he was just racist to the other Asian races.
No, I mean he will be racist to everybody, like, but not equally. It's just like accent, like Indians do is the same thing.
Yeah,
What
like
Justin said.
Yeah, with the white lady. Yeah,
he
Why
would
the
literally
accent?
do that head thing. Like he's like they always do this. Huh? I swear he like does that. I think all the Asian parents are the same, but he just wants to relate to them though.
Yes,
like he just wants to like be a part of. Like make him feel closer, as he says.
Yeah. So why not do the accent and move the head bobble? And why don't you just put some brown makeup on? Why don't you might as well just put a dot here? You might as well.
My dad might as well have done like blackface, like honestly, when I was growing up, because we had a study group, and my black friend came over to the house, And I shit you not, dude. My dad was like trying to like talk black. Like he was like,
this is amazing.
he was like, hey, what's up, man? I'm like, oh my god, what are you? Why are you? He was almost like doing like, it was like almost like if like Chris Tucker was a Tito. Like it was kind of like in the.
That's so funny, dude.
And I was
Holy
like,
shit! Could I have that
what
joke?
are you doing? No, it's
That's
in my,
such a fucking funny joke.
It's in my new 5 right now.
Yeah,
But-
Justin, by the way, is he's a new comedian. Magic is no longer his thing.
No,
It didn't bring it. He realized through the pandemic, it didn't bring him nothing.
Stupid. But what do you call it? Yeah, and then my black friend was just like staring at my dad, like just like laughing, like he couldn't believe this is happening. And I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, man. Like
That's why I
don't know what's
believe
crumb on my
Yoshi gets
dad.
away with the shit he says, because when you have an accent, they don't take you that seriously.
They just
You know what I mean?
think you're just like, oh, he's like ignorant to America because he's not from here.
Yeah, because
So
our
he
friend
gets a
Yoshi is a
pass.
very edgy comedian, and every time he gets on stage, I always see some white person come up to him and go, "Do you know what you're saying is fucked up?" And he's like, "Yeah, why would I not know that?" And they're like, "Okay, I just want you to know that what you." And he's like, "I was raised here," and they're like, "Okay, they think that he's from Japan, and what he's saying is not offensive to him." So they have to tell him what you're saying is offensive. But he's like, just because I have the accent doesn't mean I don't know. When people have an accent, they naturally think that you don't know. I don't know what that is.
yeah, but I don't blame those people though, because you gotta kind of judge somehow. You know, like if somebody has an accent, you're like, oh, he's probably not from here, right? Like that.
I don't know, because there's certain accents. When someone has a British accent, they think they know more than everybody.
Yeah, because like a British
that's true.
accent
Yeah.
like sounds smart to
Yeah, they
people.
sound smarter. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Right.
In fact, they're just as stupid. Oh, by the way, Jason, how'd you like your first? It wasn't your first shot of Filipino food, but it was your first shot of sisig. It was pig face.
It was so good. I mean, I've had pig face before, but
Right,
yeah.
but that
Pig
one.
ear.
Wait, was it seasick? Is that pig ear or pig face?
Ear,
It's all of
ear
it.
and nose,
Ear,
basically. Ear,
snout,
nose.
Yeah,
cheek.
it was so good. I actually
Cartilage.
got Postmates Max's after. I
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah, I got seasick again.
Dope.
That's amazing,
so
because
good.
I brought Jason to a really cool underground spot in Vegas that Phil Pareto brought us to, and that's where they sing karaoke while you eat. Like they pass the mic to every table,
Yeah.
and then Jason was like this: "I don't think the food's here going to be good." And I go, "Why?" He goes, "Because they're singing karaoke. They're not taking anything serious here." Why did you think that?
Well, because it's like you're not focused on one thing. It's like you got focused on the food or the karaoke or like there's a DJ, there's a smoke machine, there's
And there's
a bar,
nobody
like,
in there.
Like, what are you selling? Are you selling, you know what I mean, groceries? Like, is this a grocery store, a fucking club, or a restaurant, dude?
Oh
I'm
god!
like, because I trust Ron, because Ron, you know, you travel and also you love food. I always see you posting food stuff, so I'm like, man. But I doubted you. I was like, man, there's lasers. Their food can't be good if there's lasers in the restaurant. But it was like so
Oh,
good.
God.
It was so fucking good. I couldn't believe
it's,
it.
It's like a Japanese robot restaurant. And
Yeah,
Japan.
because because I told Jason, I go, no, this is good. And he's like, why? They don't focus on anything. There's lasers, there's DJ, there's this, there's that. And I go, no, in the Philippines, the best sisig places have karaoke bars inside. Like
Yeah.
karaoke in restaurant is a normal thing in Philippines.
Yeah, I didn't know that, and I'm
Yeah.
glad that I knew. Now I start telling my friend and my wife, I'm like, I gotta bring you to this karaoke spot. It's got lasers, but the food is amazing. It's so
Yeah.
good. It's so good.
I gave him the crispy pata. No, crispy pata wasn't there that day.
No,
Which
it was not.
I'll bring you in. I'll bring you in Max's next when I'm in LA 2 weeks at the last 2 weeks of May,
Yeah.
and I'll bring you to an amazing place, dude. So what I brought him was lichen kawali. I got him the sisig, and you know what he wanted on his own? He said this: "Can I have the glow in the dark sausage? What is it? The one you said the sausages that you liked."
Yeah, I heard it was like red and
Red.
it was juicy.
And then so I got him the longanisa sausage with the egg, and he loved it.
Yeah, because I really enjoy rice with like all like seasick. I love eating like that, like just having saucy or not super saucy, just like food like that, like with the rice. Oh my god.
Yeah, and especially small portions of like ear chopped up or like
Oh my
little.
God.
It's almost like Chinese restaurants. I love the dim sum part more sometimes because there's so
Yeah.
many tiny things.
Yeah.
When you were, is there any good Taiwanese restaurants you know of in LA? Because everybody's saying Taiwanese food is so good. I've never had it like
Okay, so
proper.
I love eating good food, but I never actually like went out and explored and trying to find it. So no, I don't know the best. But if there is, if anybody knows, I would love to go try it. But I haven't heard of like a good one, or like I haven't explored one.
So most of the Taiwanese food you just eat at your parents' house or when you were back in Taiwan.
Yeah, when I'm back in Taiwan, I just, yeah, that's like the main, like my parents would just go with me to everywhere to eat.
Well, I'm going to Asia in the summer now because it's I got some bookings there. So
nice.
I was wondering, what was the Taiwanese places I can go to? Like, what would your go-to place be when you go to Taiwan besides your parents' house?
Well, okay, there's one thing that I always eat. It's the lu rou fan, which is like the pork, and they chopped it in like the small. So it's like fatty pork, but it also has a like
Floss?
tender.
Oh.
But yeah, but it's like it's I don't know how to. It's like slowly cooked stewed pork meat, and and you put it on the rice. And in Taiwan, there's a spot. There's a chain. There's like a lot of people sell that dish, but there's this spot. It only costs like I think $3, but it's so good. This spot. Like,
What's the name of the place?
It's called Jing Feng, but it doesn't really have English though.
Okay, well, how do you spell it in Mandarin?
How
you spell it? Because when I go there, because I want to go to Taiwan, I want to go check this place out.
I'll give you the name. You could copy and paste into the Google.
Oh, perfect.
Maps. Yeah.
And Justin, you've been to Taiwan, right?
Yeah, I've been there a few times.
Oh yeah, Sam talked about you.
Sam Yarbs. What is it?
Yeah, Sam Yarbs. Yeah.
What did he say about me?
Oh no, he just said because I did the same venue you did, and he was just saying that you killed it at that.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it was fun, man. Like, yeah, the Taiwanese scene is like it's pretty cool in terms of for comedy. It was like pretty young at the time, but like now they got like a full on comedy club now.
Oh, really? Are you serious?
Yeah. Like it turned into an actual like standalone club.
Wow.
Yeah, so like they developed it and it's its own thing now. So
did the comics take you out to food after, or did you find on your own?
Yeah. I mean, I did on my own, and the comics took me out. I think at the time, what's her name was there? Amy. I think she's in Melbourne now in Australia. But yeah, she would take me around. Like they have all these it's kind of like Filipino, like the steam table thing, and like you just point and choose, and it's like kind of like
I love that shit.
It's kind of like buffet, like you know what I'm saying, like a family buffet serving style, it's kind of like a cafeteria line. You know what I'm talking about? You
like Myanmar?
Take your tray. Yeah, like Myanmar.
Toro style.
Yeah, like Toro style.
Yeah, every time I think of Taiwan, I think of night markets, and then you see all the
night markets are dope
everything
too.
Like that.
I love the.
And then there's this one thing you should try when you're there is like a whole chicken. They flatten it, and then they like deep fry it, and it's just like so crispy. I saw it on like TV.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. What did you try there, Justin? That you were like, this is something I've never had before. It's amazing.
Surprisingly, it was deep fried stinky tofu.
Really?
That shit was bomb, dude.
Dude, you had that in that restaurant we went to last week.
Yeah, in Arizona, but you know, it wasn't as pungent as it is in Taiwan.
You like pungent, stinky food?
Yeah. I mean, there's like another depth of flavor there. Like I thought I would hate it because like you could smell that fucking tofu like down the street, and then when you get closer, you just see like this big vat of like bubbling dark green goop, and it looks like a witch's brew. That's the best way like I could describe this thing. Am I wrong, Jason? Like it looks like a fucking like a bubbling greenish blackish goop, and it's just simmering there. And I mean it smells worse than it tastes. Honestly, like I had it and I was like, wow, this is actually surprisingly really good. You know.
What is
Like,
that?
if you
What
like-
is it? It's like a soy sauce thing.
It's
Like a brine.
it's just fermented. Like, I mean, like a best way I could describe it is like blue cheese, but not really. Like in that realm. Is that how you would describe it, Jason? Kind of like towards that flavor profile, but not really blue cheese.
Well, maybe I'm just proud. So I was getting hurt. When you're using words like goop, and
It sounds like gook. It sounds like gook.
yeah.
I was trying to say gook. I was saying
Whatever you were saying, dude, it was hurting my heart.
I thought he said gook food.
No, man.
I know.
That's like
You're
saying
using
that's
Korean-
like saying the N word with using a R instead of A. Like, it's not
Yeah,
the same
you're
thing,
just
bro.
you're just dancing around all the shitty, all the worst words to describe our food. And it's like, I don't like this. This is Asian hate. You guys are Filipinos, and then you ask me about Filipino food. I have nothing but good things to say, and Justin just
everything I said was positive.
You know what? That's bullshit, Justin. We're never getting drunk now. We're never getting drunk. No.
Everything I said was positive.
No. So, but you're talking about the but I really think is like, if you're used to the flavor growing up, I just don't think so. Like, you guys have the balut. That doesn't smell the best. You know what I mean? It doesn't like. Do you know what I mean? No, I'm not.
It smells better than stinky tofu.
No, it doesn't, dude. It's a
Come
dead
on,
bird.
dude.
The tofu is soy.
It's boiled. It's boiled egg like
It's a
that.
fetus.
What's the smell of a boiled egg?
It's fetus. How fetus smell? But anyway, I think when you grow up, are around it and you taste it, so it's like, because stinky tofu to me, it doesn't smell bad at all, and I could understand because
That's
it's
true.
like fermented. It's like kind of kimchi.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, so what?
Yeah,
Are we
but
gonna
do you
fight
call it
over
No,
food?
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you in a negative way is what I'm trying to.
You don't want another second boxing match. You don't want that.
It's actually my fourth. I lost 3 of them. But
What?
Yeah,
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wait, you boxed 3 times.
4. Well, plus I had amateur. I started boxing since I was 17. And then
Oh, are
I
you
did it
serious?
for
I didn't
years.
know that. You actually took boxing at 17
Yeah.
for a few years?
Yeah, for 4. Yeah, 4 years I did.
Amazing. And you actually had some matches. Like,
Yes, yes.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
local,
What made
yeah.
you start taking boxing?
I was just angry too. I was just angry from Justin bullying me.
Just fucking people making fun of your food at
people making fun
lunchtime.
of my food. You know what I mean? Saying stuff like goop.
What's that smell?
No,
That's the name of the comedy show we're doing. The next Asian comedy show is What's That Smell? Dude, wouldn't that be a best name for a comedy show?
Smell?
What's That Smell?
Hilarious. What's
And we'll
that
have pictures of
smell?
mothballs and goop.
Fucking bagoong and fucking
Yeah.
all that shit. Vinegar. All that boiling vinegar.
So you actually, I took jujitsu, but I never boxed. I boxed, but I never actually entered I did a real fight. Like, I did a sparring, right?
Oh.
And so you had rage growing up too?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, me
I mean,
too.
multi-
That's why I took it. Yeah, because I was always angry.
That, but mostly so I didn't live with my parents till in 5th grade because they were busy working. And then in 7th grade, in 8th grade, first semester of 8th grade, I came to America and I was really happy because when I lived with my parents, they started, they had to live with me. So then, they're like, God damn it, this child is fucked up. So they're like,
Why were you fucked up?
No, because when you date somebody, like if you just see them, 1 hour throughout the day, you're like, oh, this is the best. But when you live with them, you're like, got all these problems. So I think it's that. They're like, It's too soon. We should have moved in with him, at 5th grade. We should probably, but
So you're saying your parents were like shitty roommates to you at the time? It's like,
yeah, well, at the time, because I was a bad student anyway, so they were just whipping my ass, like, and the teachers too. And so when I came to America, I was like, I loved it, 8th grade. But so when I came, I was still really scrawny, and the Koreans picked on me because I was scrawny, and I was acting out, like I call this. So I remember 8th grade, we were in history class, and then this Korean guy, he got held back like 2 years. He's like the biggest guy in the class.
What a goop.
What a dumb
He
goof.
smelled. He smelled.
And what'd you call him? You made fun of him?
Well, I was just disturbing the class, and then he was like angry, and I was like, "Shut the fuck up!" And then, and at the time, I didn't know because like Asian culture is like you don't. Because America, you talk a lot of shit, and sometimes you don't fight. But I feel like in Asia, it's like a lot. Sometimes it's like when you start talking shit, you about to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then. Yeah, deeper cut. And then so when I called him some names, he's like, "Oh, you want to fight?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll fuck you up." But I knew I couldn't. There's no way. And then after class, he's like, "Let's go behind this like it's kind of like an alley. It was right behind our dorm." And we just went back there and he just beat me up. And
Are you serious?
He beat me up, but I had to say, "Sorry, okay, stop," like that. It was so bad. It was really embarrassing. But,
Sorry, okay,
but later
stop.
then we became friends, and then it's just people. I mean, it's a military school. It's all boys, so like the seniors were like, because we'll have BDUs, which is like camo, and then we'll wear boots, and people will kick my shin like on and then like they have the senior rings, and then they'll smack me on the head just for fun, and so I didn't want to be scrawny and picked on, so I just started exercising, and then and then I took boxing later because that's why I think from all that.
So do you think when you started taking boxing, you became a nicer person, or did you start fighting people more because you couldn't?
No way.
You didn't fight at all because you were fighting in the ring already.
Yeah, and also I think we talked about it a little bit. It's just because boxing, it doesn't show you as much as they do jiu-jitsu. Like jiu-jitsu really shows you like it doesn't matter how small the person is or how they look, their body size. Because I was getting tapped out by guys that's like way weaker than me just for skills. So it's like that really humbles you even more. But boxing, because I was getting all my energy out every day or every other day, it's like I was just angry. But I wasn't angry at a particular. I was never the bully. I was just angry all the time internally. So boxing and exercising just helped me.
And then when was your first actual boxing match?
It was like a year and a half later. I wasn't even ready. And
how'd you get into it?
Oh, it's just a local. It was at the boxing club in San Diego, La Jolla, and they'll set up like these events with another boxing club or within the boxing gym.
Right.
And
And then who'd you take on? A Mexican or a black guy? Because I would rather. I'd rather fight an Asian. I'd rather fight a Japanese.
Why?
Because I feel that actually more than Chinese and Koreans are really hardcore, and Thai are hardcore in their MMA and their boxing. Like I watch that a lot. I find the Japanese are really good at a high level of kickboxing, but I think they're not as dominant in the other when they're not in the top of their level. I don't think I obviously it's established, but I think Chinese, Korean, and Thai has been more established in the boxing ring.
Boxing, yeah.
Yeah, I think MMA Japanese is high up there, but not in boxing.
Yes. Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, so I would rather fight a Japanese than Chinese, Korean, or black or Mexican if it was my first shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
so
you never know, though. Maybe they just grew up in America and they were just exposed to.
Yeah, I'm just using my racism. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Who did you take on and tell me how the fight went?
He was like 5 years older than me, and he was in the same class as I was, and I thought he was gonna go easy. He was already better than me, and and the coaches was like, "Hey, do you guys want to do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I would love to do it," because we were already taking advanced boxing. So there's intermediate which like you just touch like 50%, and then advanced, and then they'll set these events up like every 3 to 5 months. And then I was just like, yeah, I'm down to do it. And then he dropped to my weight. I was like 155. And then he was like 160, 65. And he dropped down to 155. And yeah, so first round, honestly, it was really embarrassing though.
Well, I don't know what happened. Like, did you get knocked out right away? Second?
He was so... he was a way stronger puncher than me, and I couldn't even I didn't really fight back.
So it's more like when you first felt the punch, it shocked you and you went, you know what? I don't think I can win this, so I'm going to go defense the whole time.
No, you know what it is because we sparred before and it was fine and I was confident, but then when it was like the actual thing, he's been boxing like I think 5-6 years, and I didn't know it was going to be like that, and I didn't think he was going to go that hard, and I couldn't. One punch he did to me, I actually verbally was like this, ha! I did that like when because I couldn't see, it was like white, and then I didn't want to be a bitch, so I kept going, just protecting myself. But then the coach just stopped it because I wasn't punching back enough.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much the first round then.
Yeah.
This is the first round. Then the second match you had, how many years later was that?
No, that was like four months later. And
Did you go? I gotta. You trained for it more. Did you go? I'm gonna come in different this time.
Yeah. I mean, at that time, it didn't matter because I was doing intermediate and advanced every single week. So I was just like, I'm just gonna do it.
And how did the second match do?
I won, and the second round. Okay, this one time it was bad. I don't know if it was because the coach just want to build my confidence, but I went so hard on him. He was actually smaller than me. Mm-hmm. Just like I don't think I look like I'm 160 right now. I feel like I look heavier, and he looked a little smaller than me. And on the second round, his nose started bleeding, and it was on my shirt. I still have the shirt, and the coach was like, "Why do you gotta?" Because I feel like boxing is a lot like you stick to your plan. You don't throw haymakers all the time. You just you kind of like what is it? You
kind of have to like plan. You can't put all your energy on one area.
It's not like a brawl. It's not like a brawl, but I didn't have that control. I just went in like it was a brawl, and I know I was gonna win, and I punched it. I was just throwing haymakers, and I think I was really angry just from like the first time losing, and then that actually won because you looked at it as a brawl. Yeah, but I don't think that's good though, like that, because
it is not good, but it does work in your first 2 minutes.
No, but we went into the second round, and the first round, honestly, I was still scared. I'm like, oh, maybe he was gonna beat me or whatever, but his punches didn't hurt half as much as Steve's fucking. So. And
how'd you feel after the victor? Did you actually feel good, or you didn't feel nothing?
I felt great. I had my shirt. I put it on my cabinet, like for my I just put it on my wall. Like I'm like,
right. That's amazing. That's an amazing story. I love the fact that you did that. Like I really do respect that stuff. And
no, that's so fucking cowardly of me. Like
to win a fight, to come back in the second and fight. No, because you could have left in the first round like what you did the first time.
What do you mean?
Your first fight, you just took it. Your second fight, you were still scared the first round, but the second round, you know what? You overcame adversity.
Yeah, but it wasn't. I would have felt that. I would have felt good if it was like, but it was scared. I was in my own head because looking back now, it was like, oh, the first round. If I knew I had him, I could have just like, I don't know. Maybe this is just me being nice, but like, I knew I was gonna win, but I just like hit him in the face so hard. Like I didn't need to do that, but
it's so funny because
he was like a nice guy.
And I think that helps because when I fight a nice guy, I have no fear. When I fight an asshole guy, I have fear.
Really?
Yeah. When the asshole guy, I'm like, oh my god, this guy's gonna hurt me because he has an asshole. His face like this. But if he's like this while we're boxing, I'm like, I'm gonna beat this motherfucker.
Yeah.
But you know but here's the truth. Every time I took the asshole guy, it was easier than taking on the nice guy. The nice guy knew too much and he was too confident. The asshole guy was an asshole because he didn't know as much. He was overcompensating, so he had to put fear in my blood because he knew he had no technique.
Yeah.
But I had more technique than the asshole guy. I used to do jiu-jitsu tournaments, and I used to be scared of the tough guys.
Hey guys, so the thing that we used to record this podcast on malfunctioned, and we had to move over onto Zoom. So the second part of this podcast is on Zoom.
Dude, you and like Jason Collins are probably the nicest headliners that would just be nice. I mean, they're not, the rest is all assholes, but they would like keep a distance, like they wouldn't hang out, which I understand. They just want their space. Or like, dude, I had headliners like
a hierarchy.
I'm not gonna say the name, but
name them on the podcast. It'll bump our viewership.
What?
Name them. It'll bump our viewership up.
I wasn't, because when you're middling, like you just trying to like kill as hard as you can,
Right.
And I was trying to do that, and then but anyways,
What did the headliner say?
Who was the headliner?
Well,
he was like, bro, he was like, don't fuck with my money. Just tone it down a bit.
Are you serious?
On my life. I
said that to you too, I think.
Yes, but you said it in a nice way. You took me out to dinner.
Dinner, that's right. Yeah. So he actually said this to you, and did you tone it down?
Yeah, I was because at the time I was like nervous. I was like, fuck, man, like he's a headliner. He could probably, and dude, he's like, I could not let you work back at this club, right? Like he's like, you
what
come
the
back here.
fuck? You're lying.
God, but thinking back, there's no way he could have.
No,
I should have just But
so this was a white guy. This is a white headliner.
Yeah, white guy.
All right.
White guy. All right.
Help me narrow it down.
Do an impression. Do an impression of him. What do you sound like?
Yeah, but no, just the vibe, dude. And usually, and I don't know, maybe it's just a cultural thing too. It's just there's more in common, that when Ron, that's why I want to get drunk with Justin too, because it's just like
you don't want to get drunk with Justin. Last time I was drunk with Justin, he fought at Run DMC's daughters.
What?
Oh, dude, that's badass.
Yeah.
They were being stupid though. So
why are you trying to fight Run DMC's daughter?
Dude, when I first met Justin, he was a drunken mess. Like every night we went out, the security guys had to take him out. Tell him that one time when you woke up in a straitjacket.
Straitjacket?
Yeah, tell Ronnie. It's a great story.
Stop lying.
Am I lying, Justin?
I mean, a little bit, but here's the real story.
I just said straitjacket, and there was a fucking straitjacket in the story.
I was in, where were we at? Vegas, and we had bottle servers, all my friends, and I was like 23, young, dumb, really stupid. We had a bottle service, so it was just a bunch of alcohol there, and then I took a bottle of Patron, and then I poured it into a glass, just a regular size, those bar glasses, like this big, right? And no ice, just straight Patron, and I fucking just downed the whole thing, dude.
Wait, how many shots was in there? Like about
10?
Oh, at least 10, maybe more.
No,
those like short glasses with the thick heavy base.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Justin drinks it like Kool-Aid. I see her. I swear. It was like
10?
Yeah, it was like this big. This is a barrel to the barrel, man, but this is about the same size. It was like this big of a cup, but a little bit wider, right?
Gotcha.
And same size, same height though. So I down that, and then I'm partying, whatever. And then I wake up in a dark room. That's the next thing I remember.
What?
And I wake up in a dark room, and then I look out the door because it's open. That's the only light coming in, and I see all these people and like nurses and scrubs and stuff. I was like, "What the fuck? What am I doing in a hospital right now?" And then the next thing you know, I see like cops in uniform talking to the nurses, and then the first thing I thought was like, "What the fuck? Did I like get in a fight? Did I kill somebody or something?" Like I started freaking out. And then I try to get out of the bed, and then I realize my hands are like they're strapped to the handrail of the bed.
Oh
right?
man!
So I'm like trying to get out, and I'm freaking out even more because like I don't know why the fuck I'm strapped to a bed in a hospital. And I thought, because I saw that movie Teresa's, I thought that they kidnapped me to harvest and steal my organs and sell on the black market.
Yeah,
that was my first thought, right?
Why would they want your organs?
I know.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. They probably thought I had a lot of organs because I was extra fat.
So like, we got to liposuction this guy first before we harvest this.
So I try to get out of the bed, and my ankles are strapped to the bed too. So like I'm strapped in 4 points on the bed, and I'm like really scared now, and I start like violently like shaking. This
worst thing you could do.
I'm trying to get this in the angle. Like I'm like this.
Look at the fat legs.
Or like this. I'm just like trying to like struggle, and I'm screaming for like 30 seconds. I scream at the top of my lungs, and then
you're screaming at the top of your lungs.
Yeah, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, like like trying to like
you're like a baby.
Yeah, trying to break free with
like
my
a 400-pound baby.
Yeah.
And then I stopped. And then I literally said to myself, I go, Justin, you're a magician. You can escape.
You're still drunk, man.
You're so stupid. I was so drunk. I was so stupid and drunk.
Oh my God.
You're a magician. I swear, I'm not even making this up.
And then
dude.
he got out.
No, I did not get out. I was there for another like 6-8 hours.
Wait. Why don't you just be like, hey man, like what's wrong? Like calmly.
Yeah, well, eventually when I sobered up, yeah, that's what happened.
Oh, you were still drunk?
I mean, I was
you must have been.
I was more confused and scared than drunk at that point, you know,
wow.
because I still remember what was going on.
What did the cops say, or what did they tell you after where they found you? Did they find you like
the cops had nothing to do with me there? They were just there for some other some other person,
like a real man.
Yeah, basically. So I just assumed they were for me, but they weren't there for me. So
what did the nurse say?
Yeah, so I was talking to the nurse, and then they were saying like, yeah, so they found you blacked out at the club with vomit all over your shirt, and I was still in my clubbing clothes, like I still had my button up and my jacket and everything.
Yeah,
and there was still vomit on the shit, and they're like, yeah, we found you blacked out. On the floor, just slumped over, unresponsive, vomit on your clothes. You weren't responding, so they called 911, and the ambulance came, but they couldn't get into the club to get me, so the security had to lift me into a wheelchair that they have at their club for people who black out.
I would love to see a video of that shit.
And then they wheelchair me out, just like all slumped over to the ambulance, and then they took me to the hospital.
Dude, that's so scary. And here's the thing: when I met Justin 15 years ago, whatever, he was always drunk.
Oh,
he was like Frank the Tank. Like he was a guy that chug. He'd be the first to chug.
Wow.
You know,
and he was so. I remember you drinking at Angelo's party. In Pure nightclub, and I'm like, this guy thinks it's water.
Yeah,
like you don't taste it the same way I do because it's strong. You're like,
well, yeah, I mean,
it's like water.
At that point in my life, like I had literally
nothing to
well, I just graduated college. I was in a frat. You know,
you were in a frat.
We always partied. We
he
had
said
a lot of
fat. He was in a fat.
I was in a fat frat.
Fat frat.
And yeah, you know, fat. Okay, it was a fat camp, but we had all
a fat camp.
We had Greek letters still.
Fat camp.
No, you know, I was, you know, in my early 20s, right, fresh out of college, you know, still in that party mode, you know, in a frat, always drinking, partying every weekend, you know, and like. It just carried on after I graduated for like at least, I don't know, 2-3 years after that. Was
it the time that when did you stop drinking like that?
Like 24, 25, probably.
Was it after you yelled at the promoter of our comedy show?
No, that happened before the Vegas thing, before the Vegas incident.
Yeah, so Justin was part of our comedy tour called the Filipino. It was called the Filipino Kings.
Yeah,
and we literally sold out every improv in America for 4 years or 3 years, right?
What?
Like maybe 15 of them, 20, maybe 10. And then Justin was part of it for the last year. I mean, the third year. And then he got so drunk at the after party, and he started pointing to everybody that was working on the production, saying, "You ain't shit, you ain't shit." And then, because Alex, the guy that ran it, was the main guy. He'd be like, "Alex is the top dog. You ain't shit." And he pointed to the girlfriend and he goes, "And you ain't shit." And that's when he got kicked off the tour.
Oh my god.
Okay. First of all, I was never really on that tour to begin
You
with.
you did get on the. He
On the
finally put
end.
you on because you were so nice and you did a killed, and then but the same night he put you on was the same night he took you off.
I was never on. Okay, I was never on the tour from the I just did spots just to.
Yeah, but that was the day you killed. And he was like,
Why'd you do that though? I'm curious.
Yeah, what was
I
the
don't
reasoning
know.
behind it?
I was drunk and I was just like basically saying shit like Ron's saying like, I was just basically telling like
basically he was
giving
like
props to the producer. I was
Right.
like, yo, he was like,
But it sounds like you were telling people they ain't shit.
well,
more.
in an exaggerated way, because in my drunken mind, I think I'm being funny. Like, you ain't
Right.
shit, you ain't shit. Alex is the man, you ain't shit. It was like that.
It wasn't
me
a
literally
joke.
going, it wasn't me literally going up to people and be like, you know what? Fuck you, you ain't shit. Alex is the man, you ain't shit, you don't do nothing. It wasn't like that. It was me just
You
like
sure?
Well, what it came across to everybody else.
That's what I'm
was,
saying, yeah.
it was an asshole
Right.
thing, but in
Yeah,
his
yeah,
head,
yeah.
so
either way, it was
his
bad.
defense was like Mary. His defense was
either
like
way.
Mary.
Not good.
His defense was like Mayor Giuliani, where he was like, "Why are you listening to me? I shouldn't. You shouldn't listen to me. What I say is stupid." Like he said this in the car. I was talking to Alex. He's like, "I don't know why you said that, Justin. Why did you say that?" He's like, "Why is it listening to me? Don't listen to me. I'm stupid. Why are you listening to me? Like you're like, I'm just fucking around. Don't listen to what I'm saying." And I was like, they have to, because you're speaking and you're part of the show. You can't just say things and not feel repercussions. You can't just say, and I think that day you were like, you took the drink and you're like this.
I was fucking 23. I was just young and dumb. I just did stupid shit. Like that was it. I was literally a fucking young, dumb 20-something-year-old.
Right.
And you do stupid shit in that when you're in that age, and you live and you learn and you move on.
Because the time you got drunk after that with me and Chris and Jimmy, you were normal.
Yeah, and I don't really drink a lot now. I mean, ever since like 24 to now, like I just never really, I just don't have like the urge to like go all out unless it's like certain occasions, like if it's a whatever, New Year's Eve, a wedding or a reunion or some shit, but not like back then. It was like we have to drink, like
Right.
Jason Cheny after fucking Kiki shows. I have to fucking drink right now, and that's why I always tell Jason, like, no, man, I'm good. I can't.
Jason, do you drink? You drink here and there, or more like every weekend?
No, so like once every like 2-3 months, I'll
You'll binge.
Yeah, I'll binge because it's like
binge.
because the inside is gotta do like a spring cleaning.
you gotta throw up.
Well, yeah, I gotta throw up. It's got the alcohol.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so that's how I do it. I throw up every like 4
You clean your body with shit, with
Exactly.
shit you drink.
with alcohol. Yeah,
Are you a blackout drunk like Justin, or no?
I don't ever black out.
Me either.
Like
I don't black out.
I get close to black. It doesn't matter how much I drink. Like I've almost gone to the hospital because of how much I was yakking, but I never black out.
Like I will sleep before I will walk around blacked out.
Yeah.
Where Justin could be out but walking around doing shit and talking, but he won't remember it.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a crazy joke. That's like a hard, like my ex was like that, where when she got drunk, she didn't remember the whole night.
Yeah.
And just wakes up, goes, "What did I do?" I'm like, "Well, you banged a bunch of people,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, like now, I mean, like if I'm drunk, like I mean, like I'll still do things, but I won't come to the point where I'm just like black
You're not a
out.
violent drunk. You don't get
Yeah,
mad. You're happy. Like I'm a happy drunk. Jason, you seem to me if you're a violent drunk for sure.
No, I'm not. No, I never.
Oh,
Never
okay.
violent. Yeah,
now that I know you're a boxer, I don't want to fucking drink with you anymore, man.
Why would you assume that he's a violent drunk?
Because he has rage and he boxed before too.
Yeah.
No, dude, I'm like happy. Not happy, but I'm just I just want to get the energy out.
Right.
Get the energy out. Yeah.
I don't like how you guys are laughing at me like that.
No, it's not.
Like,
I was laughing at Ron because he assumed that you were a violent drunk.
Whatever, Ronnie. I thought we were the only friends, dude. Never mind.
I'm cool, man. I'm cool.
I'm laughing because I think you're a violent drunk. And you don't look like it. So, yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm just saying you don't look like a violent drunk, but I think you are a violent drunk.
Well, you're wrong.
We forgot to talk about the fourth boxing match. What was that about? Like I've heard about it, never really thought about it. Just people told me here. I go, well, I'll ask him with the podcast. But
Yeah,
you fought a comic.
yeah, I fought a comic because
With Barstool Sports.
okay, so there's a bit he accused me for being a joke thief, and there's a bit that's really similar to one of the Asian comics. His name is Ed Hill, and I have opened for him like eight years ago.
You opened for Ed? Ed should open for you.
Ed Hill.
But so he was really nice that he let me open for him, and I had a really similar bit that he had on his album, and I never listened to his album. And after he called me out on it, I never did it ever. Right. And it was like, and remember, it was the punchline was Psy from Gangnam Style, and at the time it was like hot. Right. So I had a similar one, and I never did it again. Right. And but Steven, we went to high school together, and I have hit him up when I first started. And, Jose Raymond, a good comic, great comic, good friend, and he started like a boxing thing, and he's like, hey, do you want to do it? And I was like, man, yeah, I would love to do it. And I was like, well, who would I box? And he's like, well, you could box me, and it would just be an exhibition. I'll be like, dude, it sounds so fun. And then he told me like other people was doing it. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be a great time. And I've been wanting to go back into boxing, like my wife knows. And I was like, yeah, it's gonna be a good time. And then like 3 days later, he called me. He's like, bro, like there's this another comic. Like I thought you guys are friends, but he really want to beat your ass. And I was like, who? And then he told me it was Steven, and I was like, oh man. I was like, and I got prideful, and then I was like, okay. I should have said no. I should have just been like, no, I want to box somebody else. And then I was like, okay. And then
Steven Briggs
lost. I lost, but I really think it was my cardio really for that one.
Right.
But, all right.
Was like a Steven Briggs?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Why did he want to fight you?
Well, because he's so angry that I stole a joke or accused of stealing a joke like eight years ago.
From Ed.
Yeah, from Ed.
So he wasn't even fighting for his own joke. It was for Ed.
He was fighting like, getting a.
No, this guy just wanted to fight. There's no reason to fight for somebody else.
Yeah, no, but he's really angry at me, man. Like he's like,
he still is.
He's like, I'm a piece of shit. He's like talking a lot of shit. Yeah, but the thing is, after he's like, can you guys squash it? Like Jose, I was like, yeah, so squash it. Like
you fought.
Nothing. Yeah, but he's like still. And after I congratulated him, I texted him. I was like, hey man, congratulations. He said nothing. And yeah, so but it's all good.
That's weird.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like you went through the whole thing. That's the reason why you do those things to fix beef.
Yeah, so you squash it.
Yeah, but I wasn't even gonna do it with him. I was gonna do it with somebody. It's gonna be a fun, dude. All the comics had fun except me and him because I wanted to have fun, but he was just super angry.
So how many rounds? 3 rounds, 2 minutes.
3. The second one, I gassed.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's a boxer. Like Steven Briggs boxes.
So, okay.
He just trained for he lost a lot of weight recently. I saw.
He trained. So like 2 years ago, I ran him to like a bar show, and he bumped me at the door. Like he shoulder checked me, and I was like, dude, do you want to just fight? I was like, let's just go outside, let's just fight and get it over with. I said that to him like calmly, and then he was just like, dude, get the fuck away from me. And then he went away. And then I think from that point on, he started boxing. And then this thing came and he just, yeah. So he started
weird.
boxing for like 2 years.
Huh.
Just to prepare for you?
No, I'm not saying that I'm but that's what he didn't box before. But when I went to high school with him, he wrestled.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. So you know Stephen Briggs from back in the day?
Dude, I dude, this one time I drove him to Arizona just to do a gig, and he didn't even offer to pay gas. But I was like, it's fine. Like he's a friend. But I would drive him everywhere. Like a lot of comics would tell you, they would like help him. But anyways,
Wow.
yeah, man, I drove him around so much just so that I could get my like just to learn, you know, and yeah.
So
I don't hate him. It's just if I feel bad, like it doesn't feel good for somebody to hate you that much.
So Stephen Briggs was the headliner that told you don't fuck with my money?
No.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Dude, there's so many other, yeah.
That's so weird.
You guys never gotten that stuff like that?
No, look at me. Look at me though.
No. I mean, like when people tell you to do like stand up, like don't
Look at Ron's shirt. It says "Make a friend." He's the nicest guy.
Make a friend.
That doesn't look like you. See, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
You might change the world. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, guys.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
Kareem-
The original. This is the original fucking Rush Hour. That's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
Kareem and Bruce Lee.
I've gotten a lot of comics physically tried to fight me for sure, 100%. Just because they heard I took martial arts or whatever, so they would challenge me. So every year there was someone that would physically fight me in Canada, and I would seriously hurt them, you know, because there's this video I just posted about this guy who's just this guy from the street who challenged the actual boxing coach in a gym.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that video.
And he gets his ass kicked. Like, and the
I
boxing
saw that one.
yeah, and that's exactly what happens when you don't understand that everything in life is an art. Everything in life is a science. You can't just walk in a comedy and just pretend you're funny. It takes some time and practice. And this guy thought the same thing. I could just beat up a guy at a boxing gym that teaches for 25 years.
Yeah.
Like how
trains every day, yeah.
Yeah, and so the guy didn't do his first punch. He knocked him down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and he was just like, "Are you okay?" Like he didn't really want to hurt him. You could tell. A lot of these people don't understand that if you're boxing for years, or you're doing jiu-jitsu for years, or you do MMA for years. I was doing it for at least 8 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Right. You're not going to do anything to me if for it's not going to surprise me with anything.
Yeah.
If I've been doing it for 8 years.
Yeah.
You know, maybe if I was doing it for 2, you could catch me.
Yeah.
8, I already know what you're thinking. Even in comedy, I know what the amateur comic is thinking before they go up because I was there. So they try to attack me, whether it's jujitsu or they try to wrestle me or actually fight me.
Yeah.
And my first 10 years was fighting comics, like physically fighting them in the club, like at least 10 fights.
You fought them?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Crazy.
I choked them out. I choked them unconscious.
Oh man.
There was one guy who I was lying down on a couch before I was going to go on. I was a feature. He was a headliner.
Yeah.
And I felt the wind on my face. I look up, I see him kicking, just trying to kick my face.
Oh,
and this guy's a fat guy. He's a slob, you know. And I was straight from a tournament I did in Toronto. So I was really fighting.
Oh,
I go, what do you do? He goes, what are you doing? He goes, you think you could fight? I go, no. I go, why would you say that? He goes, well, everybody says you think you could fight. So if we had a fight right now, I'd just kick you in your throat. You'd be dead. I go, what book did you read this from? Right.
Yeah.
And he goes, you don't think I move? You think I just do this? And after he was like, whatever. And then, so the next day I was lying on the couch again. He gave me a wet willy. Where you lick your fingerprint. I go, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, I could kick you in your thing. I picked him up. I slammed him on the ground and I choked him unconscious like this. I was like this. I covered the car. Is this? Yeah. And I go, wake up. Is this? It's like, I slap his face. I go, do you think you could beat me up? He goes, watch this. Good night. He was like, no. And then he wake up. I go, you want me to do it again? He's like, what did you do? I go, what do you know? Dude, no, you don't see, Jason. You don't understand it. I'm a psychopath. I'm a real psychopath.
Dude, that's so fucked up.
Ron's psychopath.
I don't fight anymore, but when I was, I would be doing crazy shit like that.
That's messed up, man.
You know, but he deserved it because why are you trying to attack me or make me, you know, like, or like, you know, I would choke him out, and then finally he woke up like this, and I slapped him like this, like, he says, oh, and then he's just talking to himself. I left, and then the manager rushed to the guy's aid. Yeah. He goes, Ronnie, man, what the fuck did you do? This guy's talking to himself. He says, I never felt anything so violent. And that's all he kept saying for 5 minutes. He couldn't snap out of this.
Of course, you choking him out 3 times.
I honestly want to kill him. That's how fucked up I was.
For his brain.
Yeah, I wish he died. I wish he died that day.
Who's this comic?
This guy Chuck Byrne.
He's retarded now.
He's married. He has married, has kids now. He's an old man.
It sounds like a guy who doesn't do comedy.
No,
anymore.
he does. Back in the day, he thought it was the boss hog. He woke around with cigars. Yeah. Hey, what's up? You know, like that guy.
Yeah.
And I already was like, I can't wait for this guy to fuck with me because I'm gonna do this. I already was planning it in my head like years before he did it.
I'm starting to think that he didn't do anything. You're just staring at him like a fucking maniac.
This guy was just an audience member that didn't buy merch.
Crazy, man. Chuck Byrne, huh?
Yeah, man. And I don't care about saying his name because I'll do it again.
He's 85 at a nursing home. You're like, I'll do it again.
Actually, hope he watches this. Man, he's like 120 now.
Chuck Byrne. I mean, this sounds like a comic from a dated period.
This Zoom is gonna end.
Okay, so I guess we're done. On me beating up somebody as our ending fucking topic.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
It was a funny one. It was a good one.
It was. I liked yours better. Yours was good. The one where.